Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again, and I'm glad you found the time to stop on this post, and I surely hope that you're interested enough to follow it through to its conclusion. In our society today, we have this coronavirus, and people are focusing on it, paying a lot of attention to it. The federal government is involved with the states and state governments and local governments, and they're trying to address facilities within the locations of these particular governments, hospitals, medical facilities, parking lots, whatever they can get. And the entire focus seems to be doing those things that would prevent the spreading thereof, containing what has already happened, and to find a cure and get rid of it. Now, what I see them doing here, ladies and gentlemen, we, all of us, can see how aggressive the responsible people are in dealing with this particular situation. We hear that we might have started off a little slow, and we might have gotten some information initially that was a little bit incorrect, but things seems to be opening up now, where you can see what's going on and you can appreciate it. And so the reason that I speak of this, ladies and gentlemen, is because there are other things that goes on in our society, a failing society where people are experiencing poverty and a lot of crime and violence and those things that we consider disruptive and corrupting of any lifestyle that exists here in this country, anywhere in the world. The same kind of attention that we're giving this particular virus, which destroys and has the damages that it does and causes and its outcomes, so does the system of all of this lying and cheating and the things that people have to do every day, find themselves doing, that needs to be given the same type of consideration as far as getting rid of it because of its detriment to society, just as they are focusing on this coronavirus. I just wanted to mention that to you because you might be able to get some situation that is relative and may perhaps understand it a little clearer. And ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted to mention to you that we're going through a unique time in our history. Never before have we gotten a chance to be so involved. Now, I heard that there was something not too long ago, the SARS or something like this, and maybe a couple other diseases that were threatening. But for the most part, I don't even remember them that well. I know I took no action, and so a lot of people do the same kinds of things. They take no action. What can they do? And the next thing you know, it's gone. I guess that's why Donald Trump says, just leave it alone and one day it will be gone. I'm not trying to validate what he says as being truth, but I just wanted to say that this problem that never goes away, homelessness, hunger, lack of education, these problems have existed. And you know what? In the situation with this disease, this virus, they are seeming to come up with money out of the ground. But ladies and gentlemen, it is not really money out of the ground. It's money that the people of America will be indebted to for 2 or 3 generations to come for maintaining this particular situation in life. That should make you wonder, how in the world could you subject yourself to a system that says in order for you to survive, you got to be in debt for the rest of your life. In debt. When the materials that are used for your benefit, wherever they are, whatever they are, they come from a power that's unseen. Can't feel it, can't touch it. Can't hog it up in your emotions as being something real. But the evidence is already here. How can that exist, my friends? and the labor, the knowledge, the skills that is required to use these resources that have been given. All of these skills have been divided up amongst the human race. The human race benefits from all that God has given us. And the human race plays a part in the manifestation of whatever we the people need. And our motivation is the stuff that we need coming back to us. And it's ours. How is it that we could continue to follow some deceptive act that started back in the Garden of Eden somewhere? So I say, ladies and gentlemen, my proposal to you is this. If this mess started in the Garden of Eden, let's finish it. And go back to the real stuff. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about as in heaven, so on earth. Now, that might mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But I guarantee you, wherever and whatever you think about heaven, there ain't no pain there. There ain't no suffering there. There ain't no lying and cheating and stealing and people getting on people's nerves there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I propose that we set up a system that allows freedom to exist amongst the people of this country. Freedom. Freedom from oppression, from wherever it comes from. Freedom from the oppression of a democracy. Oppression of a system of government. Oppression from a community. Oppression from parents and children and spouses. Let's create it so it could be divine. And what do I mean when I say divine? I mean that people rely on one another because it's designed that way. But we don't have to need one another when it causes pain and suffering. In other words, we have to be able to accept what God has created. People have different lifestyles. What bothers you might not bother another. You might not like cabbage, and you don't have to eat cabbage. But you might like pinto beans. And you can eat all the pinto beans you want. The other person eat all the cabbage they want. As long as you don't put some pinto beans in the cabbage and some cabbage in the pinto bean. Now you messing up. That stuff ain't going to work right. So what I'm basically saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. I want to see, now this is just me, and I believe this is beautiful. I want to see people excited about life. To me, that's heavenly. If everybody was put on this earth to serve a purpose, some of us call it a career, some of us call it a job, then I want to see everybody in their position doing their thing. Doing their thing. Just like when they say it's going to be a war, Uncle Sam say, come on, this is a change in our lifestyle, and those who want to see a change as in heaven so on earth are saying to the rest of us, come on. Come on. And let us take care of our business. Let's make sure that your lifestyle is protected. Let me just go to something that's very to the core. Let's go to the marriage situations. Let's make sure that if people are together, it's because they want to be. And they are never bound by anything except a desire to be. If a man mistreat a woman, I don't want her to be standing there 1 second. Because it's complicated, it's hard, she has no resources outside to turn to. I want that taken care of. You walk out of that house on that joker that's mistreating you, it's just like you just went home. And vice versa. If a man is mistreated by a woman, I don't want him standing there for the same reason I don't want her standing there. And I want the doors open that he has nothing but just bright day living and not bound. Something else I wanted to say. Well, maybe I'm Muslim, not supposed to say it. I think it has something to do with those children. But I'll just leave that. And so what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, like this education thing, that's from God. Look at the millions, I don't know, we might have billions of people on this world, on this earth that's unemployed. Every last one of them that at a proper age should be educated, should be trained to get in a profession that they love. Every last person on earth. And with all these people getting engaged in these careers, you will not have to be working your whole life. Just working, working, working. You don't get a chance to live. You don't get a chance to see the world. You don't get a chance to travel. You don't get a chance to even laugh that much, because every day you think you got one foot out of that damn hole, you done stuck the other one in there, and it wasn't even your fault. So let's turn this thing around and make this thing simple again, where people can truly live, and let them come up with automation, machines that do the work. Free it up so the rest of the people can see and engage themselves in more of the world. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know one other thing that I'm concerned about. It's about the end of life. You know, I've seen people that were in that last stage. I've seen them go through some excruciating pain. And it's so bad you can almost feel it yourself just by observing it. And there is no hope except somebody says that you cannot help a person die. That's immoral. That's what they say. They say we don't have euthanasia here. They might have it in other parts of the world, but we are the kind of people that stand up to make sure that there's no abortion. No, we don't no abortion. Life is precious. Now, we might allow you to get killed if you're doing something strange out there in the streets. We might allow you to be shot down. We might even allow you to go into war for good reasons and lose your life and take lives. We might allow you to do that. But when it comes down to being sick, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to go through that until God says, last breath. And I think about that, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's one of the most cruelest things a human being could ever affect on another. First of all, when we start thinking about lying and cheating and stealing and races and bigotry and hatred, I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, to you who are listening to me, every human being on earth have those traits. Every last one of them. I know most people think they don't have them. I wouldn't do that. Give you the right reason, and you'll do it just like everybody else who got the right reason. Your reason might be something that's, but give them the reason. And so what I'm basically trying to say is that if we're going to really move up to that state, we're going to have to make the decision. We're going to have to say, we've had enough. We're going to make sure that everybody is educated. We're going to make sure that everybody got health care. And we're going to make sure that we are going to live. So when you go to these polls and vote for the next leadership, you got before you what you have seen as being some stuff that you just think is absolutely despicable based upon what you were taught morally. But a third of the nation loves it. You got maybe a little bit more, you hope, that's following the Democrats, who are not as bad as the Republicans. You see, we have seen all of them on display. The Republicans, through the impeachment proceedings, showed America and the world that an oath to God meant nothing. So you see, when they threw God out of schools and stuff like that, this is why. So at a date like this, they can say God means nothing, and the rest of the Republican Party go along with it. The fundamentalists and evangelical Christians right wing are supporting it, and preachers are supporting it. So God doesn't mean a thing there. You see that? Now on the Democratic side, they want you to think by their actions that they a little more moral, a little more godly. But the question should be to you is, are they ready to move to the level that we have just described about God's plan? You would probably say no, because they never done it before. But don't let your question stop there. Let your question go to you. Are you ready to make that change? Or are you ready to just stay where you are? Now, in the past, you've always said you were ready, but you always stayed where you were. So the question to you should be now is, where are you? What do you want? The statistics would say that you want change, but you'll never commit to it. I remember I used to be in the pulpit, and people would come up and say, Brother Marcus or Minister Marcus, would you pray for me? And I asked them, well, what would you like to pray? What would you like to go up? And they would come to me and they would say stuff like education problems. They would say stuff like health care problems. They would say stuff like housing problems. They would say stuff like food problems. They would say those things that are essential for survival. Jobs. And I prayed about that several times. And I got the message. And I bring the message to you. God is saying, hey, that is in your hands. That is to be an expression of who you are. If you are only concerned about feeding yourself, all right, you're going to have some consequences that are going to be devastating. But if you care that everybody's being fed, you're going to have heaven if you make sure that that happens. But see, we don't do that. We sitting back right now, been convinced that you want to beat Trump. And you're going to vote Democrat, trying to beat Trump, and you hoping, you know what I just shared with you about God's plan. Neither one of them would ever think about that. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm going to say to you. You are not deserving of that. That's why you don't have it. You get mad with God because God don't magically produce it for you. God says you got a choice. You can do the things that will get you to heaven, or you can do the things that will get you to hell. And you can't blame anybody but yourself. My message to you is to tell you this. I was on the thing headed straight to hell and was supposedly, maybe, I don't know if I was heading straight to hell or not. I was so young. But I definitely was leaving this world. And I got to stay. Like the judge said, I'm going to stay your execution. I got to stay. And my stay was nothing that I didn't observe. I recognized what it was. And because of that miracle, it enables me to stand here and say to you the things that I'm saying. Even when you can't stand to hear me say it. Even when all you want me to do is to change and become just like you. And knowing that if I got just like you, then maybe some of us would be all right. But the storms of life don't stop when me and you get it together. They still come. And they don't know the difference between me and you who got it together and somebody else who don't have it together. They take us both out. So what we have to do is be prepared. The past administrations were prepared for stuff like the coronavirus. I heard that Donald Trump dismantled all that stuff. And now when you hear his people talking, they are talking like this stuff never existed. It caught them off guard, and now they are creating. They're not letting you know they tore it down. They are want you to think that they are creating. Well, it doesn't make any difference to you whether they tore it down or what. All you want to do is get it fixed quick. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I want to see heaven right now. Now, let me close out on something else about the shared with you a moment ago about seeing people who are sick. They go through the suffering. Yes, my thought left me for a moment and it's coming back. They suffer. I had a pet, Brutus. Wonderful little fella. But Brutus got to a point in life where cancer came upon him. And Brutus was not enjoying living. I would take her to the doctors. They would say, there's nothing we can do. If you took her to the university, they would just be testing her, waiting her time out. And I'm looking at Brutus lying there on the gurney. And they say, well, you got a choice. You could either put her to sleep or, and I'm thinking about how I would be if I was sick, incurable. Would I want to be a test? Or would I want to end it? So I know what I would want. So what I wanted is what I wanted for Duchess. Excuse me, for Brutus. I got another pet now named Duchess. And so I sat there and gave them the okay. They went back there and buying this killer's heel somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. And they stuck a needle right there and put in a little something. And in the matter of a second, it seems, all of the misery was gone. And all of the pain that I was feeling was gone. It's like a breath of fresh air. And I'm thinking about all of these people that's lying on that deathbed. Nothing you can do for them. They just waiting it out, taking morphine, trying to stop the pain, just waiting for death to come. And you sitting there looking at them. When all you got to do, and they're ready, is give them a little dose and they're gone. So this new world order that I see, I want to make sure that people can do what they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. If white people and black people don't want to live together, then there should be a place where they can live and wouldn't have to live together. I guarantee you this is a result of living in hell. When you make the change, you won't want to be with her by yourself. No. You want to be with the rest of the flowers. If you drink, and people say, he's just killing himself, I want to make sure that when you kill yourself, you get a wonderful burial. Because you got the choice to die if you want. Now, we don't want you to die. Find out what it is that allows you to do the things that's killing you and try to help you resolve that. Otherwise, you got the right to die. So, I want you to respect people. I can't tell you make you live because you done got sick and I want to sit there and look at you or I'm being paid. And another thing, can you imagine everything that's happening right now? They're constantly talking about the banks. They are coming with the money, making you think that it is because of the money that you're able to do these things. You don't need that money. You don't need a penny. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go now because I'm just backbiting. And until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.